Hard work needs hard rest.
Trailblazers from the Astral Express, welcome to the Dreamscape Sale Store. Oh, please excuse me. You must be here to experience those dream moments. However, this Dreamscape will feature veteran gamers. Call this type of dream a thrill dream. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. Luckily, I just so happen to be an excellent doctor. Albeit a psychiatrist. Oh yes. And you listen.
The nature of this memory is special. In my estimation, there is no question about it.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst, you'll still...
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough.
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, you are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If we had a little more time, I could have even convinced her I was Sheipe the Harmony. Then, on to the next order of business.
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside. My dear, do you have a crush on me? I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it and don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before...
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacone. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never... Such a direct act of provocation.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter. That's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration.
What a frightened look you have.
Oh, seems...
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Who was the victim?
An IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long... Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke...
Ooh, that sounds just like
Who are those two?
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. Those two have clammed up. I wonder if you...
Looks like a puzzle that sparkles.
Any leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet. All we have to go by... They didn't even take the weapon with them. Sounds like they're...
Where's Mr. Shamari right now?
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Best not to bother him.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him...
Looks like we'll have to play this.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! Mr. Cold Feet!
What? So they can talk after all.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. Ahem.
The Sparkle murder case?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none of...
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit.
Never heard of it. Sounds made up.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies. They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies.
So the 3 of them teamed up.
Is the...
No, there can only be one murderer. That's not...
If you can't justify it...
Got it! Those 3 were all fine
against each other.
That actually doesn't make much sense.
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues. I've got the case file right here. If you want to learn more about this... Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the Lifton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of... Last of all comes right. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try...
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on?
What? Where did you get that?
That won't be necessary. I've memorized every...
No wonder you're a memo keeper.
Look, an ID card.
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape.
Holy moly!
Miss Sparkle also used it.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands. Is that all the evidence? Oh, you scared me!
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari, but there are still some...
Isn't that a bit...
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of your...
Seems quite nice of her.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the... What's this little device here for?
Don't push it, Lady Blacks. That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Well, Miss Sparkle also has her own button.
That sounds like...
Correct.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me what...
okay.
Because...
This isn't...
Yeah.
What's this?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like...
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective...
I see. But when it...
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity...
I see. Thank you for your keen insight.
You don't...
This notice seems like...
That sounded like a story from ancient times.
This is so her style. Doesn't look like there are any more clues.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? Lefton, that... Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the... I remember this one best.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer?
If you put it like that, then do you... So, who... Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident? Oh, is that so?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in... That would suggest that
So, who exactly... Lefton... Oh, is that so? Oh, is that...
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn. Lefton's suspicion level can...
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer.
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan.
The murderer is...
Babe! You have answered correctly! As expected...
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the...
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind... Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family.
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Harmonize existence. Serenade the glow. Get your tickets for Robin's Life in the Song concert while they're hot.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo.
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking?
Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no...
Huh.
Let's discuss this difficult case then.
Her again? Sparkle really...
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me... Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy her some. After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was... There were 3 suspects on the scene. Namely, a Pepeshi shopkeeper named Wright.
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more description.
Miss Sparkle is so great.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is...
You're too...
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk anymore...
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. Let me introduce the identity. First of all is the shopkeeper, Wright. He's one of the Pepeshi people, and next up, you have the merchant, Lefton. He wants to join up with the... Finally, there is the gambler, Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle. That's all the information we...
Sorry to interrupt your dreamscape experience, madam, but don't worry.
First of all is the shopkeeper. Next up, finally, there is the
And And there's the tie.
That skit before said that the deceased was strangled.
The tag on the tie reads, "Only for Imperial Master left."
That's not how you use...
There's an accounting book lying on the ground.
On the title page is written Chen Katong.
This Chen Katong person...
So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence.
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a lo... A little stool that seems quite normal.
The footprints, which are half...
Perhaps it's just that... What's that smell?
Mr. Sampo, take a look.
Somebody...
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor...
Have you dealt with many masked...
No, only a handful. After all, I...
This clock...
Open it up and take a...
There's a ring
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth.
In the victim's...
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring. That should be it.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but...
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway...
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan.
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as... Then go ahead. Who is the killer? Good. Then let us appreciate your powers of deduction. Have you this guy? Zhongshan is a card shark who...
It doesn't. Look. This ring is a piece of...
That's right! What would a penniless wretch of a gambler like Zhang... He'd stolen Lefton's tie and was just about to get away when he saw Miss Sparkle. Who could have known that Miss Sparkle would end up swallowing that ring? All Zhongshan could do was... What a tragedy! If it weren't for you...
Is something wrong here?
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are... Mr. Assistant Detective, please...
Ah, I see. Sheriff.
Correct, Detective Sampo!
Sheriff, the murderer is right.
Yes! For the laughter!
Then, right from the start, there was no...
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really...
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a...
I take it so seriously! Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked...
So that's it? This is just going to go...
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around?
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here.
A murder in a locked room?
As expected, enough.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle. The butler, Zhongshan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her.
As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened.
The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was alive.
Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist's canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood.
Besides us and Zhongshan, the butler, Lefton the cook, and
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now careful. Why don't you skip all this rigmarole?
Wait up!
Honest.
No cheating!
Huh. Mr.
No, it's...
Let's go. Can't keep a girl...
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up, wait up! Miss Sparkle! Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
There's no weird, sweet dreams troupe, nor is there evidence...
Hey! Dear memo keeper and Mr. I didn't expect you to skip the final... Listen up. What?
No murder.
Sometimes it's nice.
Since it's a classic puzzle, the answer...
Wah, wah. Wrong. The correct answer is... Sparkle! When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about so naturally. She's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon.
What the heck was that?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me.
Ill fate descends. Lance, forward!
Holy smokes! Huh? No voices? This guy's...
Wait. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle! How is this possible? How can people die inside? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Only the remember. Oh, I understand. You refused to let me go because you...
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want... You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character.
This? If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Or...
The hint for the final question was...
Oh, you mean the
all the painstaking effort. The key to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no... That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, the answer is simple. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that that's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer, which means it's you, Mr. Sampo.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. The truth does not lie.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close.
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom using was not the
What a pity, such a pity. Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's... Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body...
Why not? Miss Sparkle...
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady. I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been... You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with...
Oh? Am I under...
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late... If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family, but also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly.
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea.
Memo Keeper. Did you?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, let's go Sampo? Sampo.
This is Bellabog, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
What a special dream this has been. Did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape, it's as weird and captivating as being in a dream within a dream. That's the end of Miss Black Slot. I also found this dream suitable. If we meet again, I will... I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. Things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone in someone else.
Really? I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with Shouldn't you give my mask?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respect? Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, third barrel on the left. You never saw him. But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? Let me guess. A catastrophe.
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense. Sometimes even an old-timer like me.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog after all the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks. Isn't something old simple? Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so... Why so...
видео.